Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing my wrap up for April and my What's Up for May, which is my TBR. I'm going to talk about the May the 4th Read With You Readathon, which is really fun. Eric at Break Even Books puts it on. There's other hosts as well. And basically, it's like a Star Wars themed readathon. And it's really fun. I did it last year. So I'm going to talk about kind of how that is shaping my TBR, how my TBR has shaped my trajectory in the readathon as well, instead of doing my typical kind of, I can't remember what these titles are. That will still be included. Don't worry. I can't remember what they are regardless, but that it's a kind of a different format today to how I'm going to talk about my TBR. But first, what did I read in April? April was it wasn't that busy. In March, and I think March and February I was like, oh, I'm exhausted. I was, but a little bit better in April. I did have a major screw up at work, but well, anyway. Let's move on. So, what did I read in April? I'm going to go through these based ranking them, kind of the books that I enjoyed the least and the books that I loved the most. So, The Staircase in the Middle of the Woods is the book I enjoyed the least. So, this is about a group of 40-somethings who return to the scene of a crime, the crime being a staircase in the woods where one of their friends disappeared when they were in their late teens. Basically, it's them going up these stairs and finding a labyrinthine kind of horror trauma cube-like structure where they are forced to they're trapped in this house, kind of try to escape. And it's really a really interesting concept. I wasn't super into the trauma horror too much. It was just a bit heavy for me. And also, I didn't like the characters at all. So, and then we have The Fall of Chronopolis. So this was a classic sci-fi I reviewed, I think, like literally yesterday. Squeeze that one in. It was a bit dull. It wasn't very exciting for a classic sci-fi, so oh well. Then we have Under the Grand Hotel. These ones I'm talking about now are all like 4 stars for me. Under the Grand Hotel was about a young woman. She wants to be a singer. She actually wants to be a magician, but a singer is kind of like the only way she knows she can make money. And she's a pickpocket because she doesn't have money to be a singer yet. And she pickpockets the wrong person, finds herself in the Grand Hotel, which is a fancy Art Deco hotel that is run by demons. And she ends up selling her soul and then, to be famous. And then it's all about her kind of escaping. It's very labyrinth feeling. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Ley Lines, this is a Canadian fiction about the gold rush in the Yukon. It's also not about that at all. It's a very kind of surreal, sort of Pynchon-like book. Very heavy on the themes, but also very, very interesting in its imagery and its kind of evocativeness. The characters are fun too. I enjoyed it. And then I Contain Multitudes. This one was, I think I gave it a 5 anyway, but it still wasn't like one of my favorite books. But it was a really interesting time travel novel about a woman it's not really a time travel story, a multiverse novel about a woman who is kind of trapped in ever-changing multiverse, and she's trying to figure out A, why, and B, how to stop this. And the twists in it are really interesting, and it's very psychological. I really enjoyed it. Now, all of these ones are high 5 stars. I give all these 5 stars no matter what. The first is Scurry. This is about a young woman who can communicate with roaches and bugs. That's, though, not the forefront of the story at all. It's based about her going back home after, so when she was 17, there is a traumatic event with a serial killer in her life. She's a sole survivor. She goes off to university. She has to come back to deal with her ailing mother. And it's more about the characters in the story than it is about the serial killer, which I thought was really, really interesting. It brought it from like a horror to almost like a thriller. And it was really good. And I really liked the dynamics between the characters. I thought it was fantastic. Then Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a novella about he's 12, a 12-year-old boy who's seeing his dead father's ghost, but it's about a whole lot more than that. It's all about memory and identity, very Stephen Graham Jones literary. I really, really liked it. I think it's my favorite Stephen Graham Jones book, actually. Brighter Than Scale, Swifter Than Flame. This is a lesbian fantasy, very fun, very beautifully written, very evocative language. I really liked the couple. I really liked the characters. I found that the kind of twist at the end wasn't really a twist, but it was such a lovely story. I didn't even care. It's really, really good. And then The Tusks of Extinction is my second favorite book. It had a really, really tough time competing with the second book. I was kind of, it was hard to choose. This is an eco-fiction sci-fi thriller about a woman whose brain is put into a mammoth. A mammoth has been resurrected. And it's about way more than that, though. It's about trophy hunting. It's about it's just about so many themes, so many environmentally related themes, and I thought it was so good, and I loved it. And then my favorite book of the month was a book I reviewed just the other day. I was actually meaning to review it last week, but I got really busy and I just didn't have the time. I also filmed the video and then I went back to edit it and I was like, this video looks like crap. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to redo it. So that is The Country Under Heaven. This is a historical fiction, kind of Western fantasy sci-fi about a cowboy in the late 1800s. He's reeling from the Civil War. He has a creature chasing him, an eldritch monster. And it's just kind of connected stories, so it's not one overarching novel, but there is an overarching, you can't read the book in, can't just pick up a chapter and read it. It is a story. It's just like the chapters are very self-contained about him dealing with these weird kind of creatures that he comes across in the American West. And it's just like so surprising. It's a fantastic, interesting novel. I just think it's so different from a lot of the stuff that I've been reading lately, and I read a lot of weird stuff, so that's saying a lot. Yeah, so that was my favorite book of the month. I really loved it. So on to my TBR. So May the 4th read with you is, I would say, it's kind of it's not complicated. It is a readathon that has a lot of steps. There's like a huge PDF with all of the kind of prompts, and then all the prompts depend on kind of what you want to be. Like there's a prompt for what character you want to be or what character like species you want to be. There's prompts based on if you choose to be like a light side or dark side or neutral, or if you decide to be a Jedi or like not a Jedi, all this stuff. And so I'm just going to kind of tell you what prompts I picked, and then what the category and the requirements are, and then what book it is. But I haven't actually gone through and decided like what class I'm in or like what kind of, if I'm part of the Ambassadors Guild or not. I haven't decided that yet. I have a week when I've been filming this, so anyway. Also I'm gonna be reviewing the Buffalo Hunter this month as well, but that has nothing to do with the readathon because I've already finished it. I just have not got around to writing or recording the reviews. It was good, I'll say that. Okay, so starting off, so the category is what species I'm going to be. I'm going to end up being Yoda's species. Not usually my choice. I prefer to be something a little less, a little more pleasing to the eye. If I'm going to pick a body type, I'm going to pick something nice. But anyway, apparently I'm one of those. And the requirements is read a sci-fi book. That always happens. So I'm reading Audition. For what I remember, this is a NetGalley book. This is about a bunch of people on a spaceship, and they have to have conversations, and when they stop talking, their body starts growing or something. Apparently it's very ethereal and weird, and I'm very excited to get into that one. Next is, a bunch of these are the abilities. The next kind of 5 or 6 are abilities. The first one is a mind trick. This is read a book with a closed compound word in the title, and that book is Supergiants. Based on the cover, it is a compound word because they're together. And this is a little novella I got from a small Canadian press. I can't remember the press. What is it? It doesn't say. University of Toronto Press. Oh, okay. So I got this from a publicist because I get a lot of like little Canadian books from them. So I'm going to be reading that. Next is another ability is Plant Surge, and this is a flower or plant in the title. This is Origins of Desire in Orchid Fens. This is another Canadian one I got from a publicist. I kind of got them all at once, and I had to slot them into May. So there's going to be a few of these. This one is about a woman living in Northern Ontario, and it's just about her kind of connection with nature. And I can't remember, so we'll see. It sounds cool. Another ability is a doppelganger. This is a word, and the title is also an image on the title, and that is Time of the Cat. This is one of the SBSFC books that I'm going to be reviewing this month. I have to read all of the semi-finalists by the end of May, so I'm going to be cracking through a bunch of those as well. So there's a cat on the cover, and there's a cat on the title, so there we go. Another ability is empathy, and this is description mentions a family member, and that is this princess kills monsters. I scrolled through and a stepmother is mentioned, so I'm like, yep, okay, got that one checked off. This one I think is about a princess who decides she doesn't want to be a damsel and goes off on her own. It sounds fun. It seems kind of like a satire kind of thing. We'll see. The cover's really cool. It's very like pastel and fun. Abilities, another ability is Force Valor, and this is an author name is above the title, and in this one we have Esperance as the author's name is above the title. This one is it's a murder mystery, but it has a sci-fi element. There's this cop in Chicago trying to track down a very strange murder, but then there's also this woman who seems like she's kind of like an alien maybe? I don't know, we'll have to see. Sounds really, really interesting. And the last ability that I have to do is transfer force, and this is pastel colors on the cover, and that is Bisection, another SBSFC book. I have no idea what this is about. I think it's about people on a generation ship. I can't remember. Anyway, I like the cover. Now we're moving on to some other kind of supplemental things. So one of these is equipment, and this is I'm going to be getting a jetpack, which is super cool. This is where a main character goes somewhere new. And for this one, it's another SBSFC book, and this is A Swift and Sudden Exit. It's a multiverse novel, so obviously the characters are going somewhere new. Another is ships, so starships, and I'm getting a TIE fighter. It doesn't make sense that I'm kind of on the light side of the force, but whatever. And this is a book with a title starting with a T and I or an E, and I'm taking the in this, and I am reading The Exclusion Zone, which I have no idea what this is. It is another Canadian small press one. This one's from Woolsack and Wynn. I'll tell you, it's about Rena, a scientist who studies how people react to fear, flees a troubled marriage to conduct research on the scientists working in the exclusion zone around Chernobyl. Ooh, this sounds so cool. Okay, it's another kind of environmentally kind of one. Oh, part ghost story, part literary thriller. Neat. Okay, I'm very excited about this one. This looks cool. So yeah, I'm going to be reading that one. And then lastly, we have partners. So I had to pick a partner, and I'm apparently having assistant smuggler if I'm part of the Ambassadors Guild. That sounds a bit shady. I'm down with that. And this is the main character has a different gender or sex than me, and that is Accidental Intelligence. This is another SBSFC book, and this is about a man, and he has to pair up with an AI, I guess. I can't remember. You know me, I don't remember anything about anything. So yeah, those are. Oh, also I'm going to be reading 1,000 Tiny Awakenings, which is a poetry book. I don't read poems very often, but this is an anthology of poems. It's also Canadian. I got this as well from the publicist, and so I don't read poems a lot, so I thought this sounded really neat. It's environmental poems, I think. No, it's not. It's about something else. Anyway, I'll be reviewing that later in the month too. I do need one more prompt, and I need like a I think it's an animal companion or something, and so I'm going to see if I can squeeze something in for that. I realize I don't have a classic sci-fi on this list. If I can fit one in, because the SPSC books, I have a deadline for those. If I can squeeze one of those in, I will, and I'll try to make it fit a prompt. But if not, I'll have another old school science fiction for you. So yeah, there's my exciting TBR for May. I'm very excited that the weather's starting to turn. It was a long winter here. It's long, and normally I like the winter. I'm not like a winter hater, but I just was like, I am ready to not have to get out the snow pants every day for my kids, and I'm ready to walk to school again because in as much as I hate driving the kids to school because I'm like we live like a 10-15 minute walk in the winter. The little ones, like my older one, she's fine, but the little one, she takes so long to walk with her snow pants and her big boots and her big coat, and she's like shuffling, and I'm like, I don't have the time in the morning to get these kids to school and to have a 25-minute walk. So I drive them to a cul-de-sac and then we walk kind of half the way. But as soon as the nice weather hits and they don't have to wear snow pants, I'm like, no, we're walking to school every day. We walk home every day in the winter too, unless it's like -40, because the dog needs a walk. But yeah, so that's nice. So I'm glad about that. And they also ride their bikes too, which is fun, and lock their bikes up. I'm like, oh, it's so nostalgic because I used to ride my bike to school. Anyway, rambling on and on is my MO. So I'm done with that now. Okay, bye.